Whoa! Woohoo! That's a hound. Oh my God. And just like that, we're on the fish. And there you go. That's what I call a man test. Well, I'm not sure if you're allowed to say that anymore, but you know what I mean. Whew, my shoulders are hurting. Look at my straps dug in. Wow. Anyway, here we are. That's a nice walk. 45 minutes, maybe. I don't know, I've not looked at my phone. But yeah, now I feel like I put a little bit of effort in. So where I've walked, you probably often hear of people say, oh, the bridging camp, the bridging camp. Well, what happens is the tide, the Chesil tide comes, and the tide from around Portland sort of, you get much more of a tide pool here. And the beach, it's got a funny shape, which I can show you. If you look at Chesil from above, it sticks out a bit here, and you definitely get more tide. So, I don't know, what do I like to say? When we get tide, we get fish. But if you're not fit, and you're not up to it, just don't bother, because if you stack it on here, as unfortunately my friend did, it takes ages. Believe it or not, the ambulance service haven't actually got a boat to come across the fleet or anything, so they literally have to walk. And yeah, if you had a cardiac arrest on here, unfortunately my good friend Sean did, there's just no hope. So yeah, just go careful, watch yourself. When you come to Chesil, if you're going to walk it, make sure you're fit and healthy. Well, here we are. So I've had my reel serviced by Jock, Dave Rogers. Cheers for doing that, Dave. My mate down in Cheddar in Somerset. Normally he makes them super quick for me, but I've had a cast with 2 of them. I bought a spare one just in case, because normally I like to get out, have a couple of casts and see how quick they are. But they're absolutely perfect. I've not blown them up. Can take the mags off in the sky, and they're flying. Cheers again, Dave. What I'm going to do now is put my first rod out. What I'm going to do is put a sand eel as far as I can. This is not the ray area. The ray area is a little bit further down, but you do get a few up here. So what I'm going to do is put a sand eel out as far as I can on a single hook pulley, 5-foot pulley, single. And then I'm going to put a whole squid out a little bit closer. I've got some peeler crabs, got some squid, obviously I've got some sand eel, and I saved the peeler crabs to this evening to hopefully get into a few smooth hounds. But yeah, we've definitely got a chance. It's a beautiful day, and I'm going to bait a rig up for you. What I'm going to do the first couple of casts is it's high water now, so I'm just going to roll a plain lead around because there's not much tide. Once that tide gets going in about 2 hours time, I'll probably have to switch it up to grip leads. But there's a few reefy broken ground areas out here in the tide, and if you roll it round, hopefully I can roll it into a feature. I know that sounds a little bit like something you wouldn't want to do, but if you put a bait near a feature, normally on Chesil Beach there'll be a prawn living by it, and a shrimp, and a little crab, and then the pouting whiting in the winter, then obviously something's going to be there eating them. Sounds good. It's nature, that's what happens. Start off with a sand eel. I've got some black lug as well actually, which I'll put out in a bit. I'm just going to mix it up. I could have bought all my earth rigs and my 3-hook clips and my 2-hook clips and went full summer, but I'm not doing that yet. I'm going to stick it out, fish big, and hopefully get into a few big fish. We got plenty of time to mess around with pop-ups and earth rigs, catch some gurnard, bream, triggers, you know, the stuff we normally catch in the summer. But for now, rays and smooth hounds are on the menu. So as you know, I just take the tails off and the heads. Get my bait needle. Pretty straightforward stuff. Remember, I spin the sand eel. Fat end, fin, fin, fat. Put them together, makes them more streamlined, like so. First one on the needle. Second one tucked up behind. I've done this so many times. I get my Baytex. And on we go. You know what's coming. How you all doing, everyone? I hope you're great. I'm really good, thank you. Obviously I had the last few weeks of partying and staying up late and having fun. And now I'm back eating healthy, drinking water, not drinking booze. Yeah. Had some fun though. Now it's back to fishing and work. Which is not too bad. So warm today. Right. As it's quite reefy out there, I'm just going with a single 3/0 hook. As we've seen on the Bristol channel, it can backfire when you're using single hooks and you can miss a few fish. But out here, once I get in the tide, I'm pretty sure if there's a ray about, it'll munch my double sand eel and get the hook into it. But if I start missing bites, as before, I'll mix it up and put a circle hook on, making it a pennel, as I did in Minehead, and I didn't miss any bites then. There we go. Just like that, I trim the end off, make it more aerodynamic. And there we go, that's the first bait ready to go out.
Heading up the west coast in the morning to find a place where no one knows our faces or our names. If we don't leave now, we might never make it out alive. Plans are changing, rearranging all the time. So come away with me, let's break free.
Oh, for my second rod, I'm going to put the whole squid out on a rolling lead. There's plenty of tide, which is quite unusual really for high water, but there is. So I'm going to put a big fish bait out. Big squid. That's not a fish bait, but you know what I mean. Just gotta keep everything cold. I've got some ice blocks in here. There you go. Nice small squid bait. We've got a chance. We've got a chance of a turbot along this way and a lovely red gurnard. As before, let's put the whole squid on the needle, bind from head to tail to keep all the juices in. Remember, we've done that before. If I bind it that way, I'd push all the guts and juices out, and that's why you end up with, like, I was going to say it looks like Sam Smith, but it looks like a joint of pork. Where is he anyway? Oh, sorry. Where is they? He's disappeared. Through the shoulder, into the head, just like that. Yeah, I feel quite confident today. I'm not really sure how it's been fishing. It's Chesil though. As you know, it can be fishing absolutely shit, and then you just get a fish of a lifetime. Let's hope it's today. Got some water and a little Tronix Pro bucket. Believe it or not, I don't like getting dirty hands. For one, it's horrible when you're casting and getting it everywhere. But I don't like it anyway. Pull that hook down. Just trim this off. And there you go. It's a perfect size squid bait going out there ready for a red gurnard, a smooth hound, a ray, a turbot, or whatever. If it swims, I'll catch it. And you've seen that recently. So my second rod today is Competition Performance out of Tronix Pro, paired up with my 7HT casting reel, full of line, just out of service. What could possibly go wrong? I thought I'd bring you back, keep you live, and if it goes wrong, you can laugh at me at home. Now, it should be right. This reel's lively anyway. But this reel and this rod, for me, and that rod are pretty much my go-to for Chesil Beach. As you've seen, I've used the Nagas for probably 7-8 months, but these performances are growing on me really fast. I'm not trying to sell them to you, I'm just showing you them. If you like them, go and get yourself one. This is just an initial review. I've been using them, this is my third trip, but so far so good. I absolutely love them, and they are definitely something that I would use on Chesil, especially in the summer. Let's see what can go wrong here, shall we? I might blow this up. So I'm going to cast with mags on and give it a go. So light, this rod, honestly. If you get a chance to get hold of one, get hold of it. Right, mags on. For the first time then, my hand grip got stuck. Did you hear it? Got stuck in the spool, which is a first. That wind's quite tasty. Right, one more cast, but he's fine. I didn't really belt it. But yeah, I love this rod, everyone. As I said, it's not a review. I'm not trying to sell it. In 6 months' time, in September, when I'm banging out cod here, you can be like, that rod's pretty nice. But until then, we can just go on initial views. I know what a rod it is, because I know about its development and what it is. That's a good thing about working for Tronix Pro. I get to see and help out with, I didn't help out with these, but I have done in the past. I get to add my input into certain rods. But this is beautiful. £300 rod, brand new. Unbelievable. Right, I'm gonna give this one a little go now. Shall we have a little go? Try not to blow it up. Take the mags off a bit. Right. Come on then. That wind's evil. It's coming along the beach, so it's not really gonna help. Come on, son. He's out there. Fuck it. Whoa. Right, enough to trim that guard. Nice. I love this rod. As you know, I'm not the best caster in the world. I'm just a fisherman. But I can put a bait out there, and that's all that matters. And there we are. Just waiting for the right hand one to pick up the tide, and we're fishing. As you've seen, I'm using rolling leads. They seem to be holding fine. They're not coming round too quick. What I'm hoping is when they roll around, they drag the bait behind, they roll into little crevices and roll up next to features. As you can see, the right hand one now is picking up the tide, and that is absolutely beautiful. That's why we walk out this far. I'm into tide, and as we say, when we got tide, we got a chance of a fish. But yeah, the rolling leads come round, hopefully rolling me into an area which is occupied by fish, or next to a feature, or in a wallow or a trough with fish holding up. But at any point, if that tide pulls too much and it's washing round too quick, I'll have to switch it up back to grip leads. But for now, we've got a chance. Right, I was just baiting up another rig. I've just cast out the right hand one. I turned round and the left one's pulled right over it. I'll tighten this one up still. But that was tight, super tight in the tide. Can you remember? Watch it now. I'll just tighten it up. It's on whole squid. There you go. There's a fish on there. All right, here we go. First fish of the session. See what we got. I'll turn you round. That's the joys of fishing over rough. Definitely a fish on. Oh, how has he done that? Could be a ray. What I might have to do, put this one back in the rest, as we've done quite a lot recently, and hopefully it'll swim out. It's definitely on there. Oh well. Unfortunately that fish didn't swim out and I lost my hook length. That's the joys of fishing next to a big reef. It works, but every now and again you get stuck in. That's a good sign. I think that's probably a ray. It's a decent bite. Before I could get the camera on, it pulled right down like a smooth hound, came back and then went again. As you've seen, it went on camera. It must have just swam straight in the snag or a reef just as I picked the rod up, and I couldn't do nothing about it. It's just one of them. Let's get this one out there. I've got one in close on squid, and I'll put this one a little bit further. Double sandhill, out by that reef. But I got a single hook on this one. To be honest, I don't really lose any fish to it. But you take your chance, eh? You pay your money, you take your chance. Yeah, there's a fishlet. Yes. Yeah, here we are. Just gonna take my time. Yeah. Slack line me. Slack line me. Whoa, oh my God. Could be a hound. This fish is fighting. Right, let's get up off my knees. Yeah. See how it's kiting around? Swimming now with me. Telltale sign of a smoothie. Swimming against the tide. Just kiting, look. Come on. It's quite a drop off today. It's hard to see on camera. Just gonna surf him in. Shouldn't come off. It's going absolutely mad. And there he is. There you go. Right. There we are. We're not blanking. And just like that, we're on the fish. Yeah, I've had 2 bites, missed them both. Obviously one got snagged in, and I was just casting out the right ham rod, and I looked round and they were both pretty slack because of the tide, and then bang, this one tightened up. But there you go. There's a Chesil Beach smooth hound in the sunshine. Thanks, Mr. Hound. We'll get him unhooked and we'll get him away. Cheers, everyone. A bit of weed on my line. The wind's getting up again. I've got a sneaky suspicion this is a hound. If it is, it's not a big one, but must have been a pack of hounds come through. I don't know. Oh, fucking hell. Missed them both. Ah! Right, I'm gonna remake some rigs. I've got some spare ones, but I've missed 3 fish now. So what you got to do in this situation, check your hooks. There's nothing wrong with them, but just do something, mix it up, because I've missed a couple fish now. And that's fishing, eh? Oh, how you doing? Well, as you just seen, I had a mad 20 minutes. I missed 3 fish. So I've had a rethink. As I say all the time, I'm just like you. I make mistakes when I'm fishing. If you don't, you're not trying hard enough. So my rigs were quite long. I was going for a rolling lead technique to get me plenty of movement to hopefully get me into a ray or a red gurnard. Naturally, the hounds are all over it anyway. What was happening was the hounds were picking it up where I've not got much tide at all. There's no resistance. Then, coupled with that, I'm using a rolling lead, so there's no bolt rig effect. When the fish is taking the bait, it's not getting hooked on the gripper, like bang. The circle hook's not going in, so the fish is just able to pick it up, swim off with it, and the rolling lead's just following behind. So to that end, I've made my rigs a little bit shorter, or I've had some already made, but I've got some shorter rigs. I'm now using grip leads, and I've checked all my hooks and they're perfect. Now I shouldn't miss any bites. Who knows, I might not get as many because I haven't got as much movement in the water and I'm not so much flowing. It's more unnatural now. I've got 4-foot pulleys, big squid baits to a 7-ounce gripper. If I get a take now, I'll turn you around in a minute. Now I'm anchored to the bottom, I've got a lot more tide, so the rods will act to help me hook fish because there's a lot more tension. Whereas before, as you've seen, they were both upright like this, little bit of movement, but not much. Now they're hooped over. When a fish comes along, bang, circle hook, straight in the kisser. Look, I like to show you all these things. I make mistakes. I'm just like you. As I tell you all the time, I just take the camera with me. So if you can learn from my mistakes, I do every time I go fishing, and hopefully together we can learn something, and together we may actually catch a few fish. Now I've said all that, let's hope it works. I'll turn you around, get you on the important side, and that's the rods, and hopefully we can get a few more bites and I can actually land us a few fish. Be nice, wouldn't it? Right, as you can see, my left rod's come back a bit. It's a whole squid, 60 yards out, trying for an undulate. And it's just sprung back, might just be the waves. But yeah, as you can see, both rods now are in tide. Remember, we've got a grip lead on there, so something's broke the lead out. Hopefully it's hooked. There you go, there you go. Come on. That's only 60 yards out. Hopefully it's an undie. It's a fish there. See the difference? There you go. Go on, son. Go on. Yes. There you are. Beautiful, everyone. I've just been hiding in there like a Scottish ginger. No offence. I know a few. There you go, slack line. He's hooked. Come on. This fish has gone right down tide. There we are. We hooked one. Yes. See that classic? Slacked me off. Took the tension, it's hooked. Hopefully it's a ray. I chucked this one 60 yards out, whole squid. It'd be nice. Doesn't feel like a hound yet. It never does till it... Oh, I don't know. Come on. Be super chuffed if I caught us a ray. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a hound. Right, I'm gonna turn the camera around. It's not kiting around. I think it's a hound. It's kiting now. It's a hound. It's a good one. Oh no. Right. It's a nice fish. I think it's a wrapped up hound. It's hooked in the mouth, but I think it's wrapped. I'll go and get it, I'll bring it back. It's not a ray. I'll show you why. It felt like a ray. Look where I hooked him. Right in the wing. So I was pulling him in sideways. I've got line everywhere here. I thought we'd done it then. I thought we had an undulate. That's why it's really strange, because this fish was hooked there, look, and it's swimming. Oh, it's just strange. Oh, I've got hold of it, it's fine. And there you go. There's another Chesil beach hound. That's an unorthodox way of catching him, but he obviously was going for my bait. But look, I'll get this chap back. It's not a ray. I'll keep fishing, but I'm pretty hot. It's a hot day here on Chesil, or a hot evening. Hopefully the sun will go down soon, but I'm not sure how long I'm gonna stay. I wanted to stay till midnight, but it's only 5 o'clock now, and I'm pretty hanging and running out of water. But look, I'll keep fishing. I'll get this fish back. Hopefully I'll get a ray. I'm just gonna keep the baits going in. And there you go. Perfect. That's the joys of keeping my bait frozen. The packet I've been using this morning, or this afternoon, sorry, was one from a recent trip, so it was a little bit pink. But as I said to you before, it doesn't really matter, as you've seen. But this is fresh, or fresh frozen, ready to go. I'll get this one out, I'll keep baiting up the spare rigs, keep casting out, and hopefully, just hopefully, we can get ourselves an undulate ray. But if not, we're having a good time in the sunshine. I'm not wearing my mics at the moment, all right? Just because I'm charging them up. Oh yeah. Fish on there, look. Woohoo! And there we go. A Chesil Beach smooth hound on the run. Fish on. Right, I'm gonna take you with me. We have ourselves a baby smooth hound. There you go. It's a baby. Congratulations. It's a boy. Yay. Anyway, that's a baby smut or a smooth hound. I'll get this little chap back. What a beauty though. They scrap all right. That probably only, what's that, £3? Go like shit off a shovel. Good effort, hound. Cheers everyone, let's get it back. Oh, I think I've just got a take on that peeler crab I just put out. There we are. That's the first time I put a crab out, it's been out there about 3 minutes. Fish on. Right, I'm gonna move you around. And there we are, 2 in 2 minutes. The hounds are in, so's the weed. So that's the first time I put a peeler crab out. It was out there about 2 minutes. When I was fighting a hound on the other rod, it just ripped off. It's a better fish, biggest fish of today. Probably about 8 or 9, it's a fat one. Probably, I don't know. Calm down. Absolutely nailed that peeler crab. But that is fat. Look how fat that one is. And there you go. Another Chesil Beach smooth hound. What a beautiful fish. I absolutely love these fish, everyone. This is a heavy fish. I don't know what it's going to weigh. Probably 8. I'm not worried. I don't really weigh stuff unless I know it's a specimen. And look at that. Both rods in. Standard smooth hound fishing. When they come through, they come through. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty hanging. I've had 5 now, I've landed 5. Biggest was probably that last one, maybe 8. Probably a bit bigger, it's really fat and heavy. But I wouldn't have doubled, so I didn't bother weighing it. But yeah, this is hard work. I hoped to come along and get us an undulate or a blonde. You do get blondes here. This isn't the main mark, but you know, you pick blondes up all the way through. But these smooth hounds won't leave me alone. what I'm going to do, it's just coming up to low water now. It's 7 o'clock at night. I'm going to put some crab baits on, fish for about another hour or so, see if I can catch 4 or 5, 6 or 7 or 8 more smooth hangs, and then I might call it a day. I'm pretty hanging. I worked late last night and I've not had much sleep. I hope you don't mind. I wanted to stay till gone midnight, but I'm pretty much running out of bait. My battery's dying and my GoPro. Where I've walked all the way along, I didn't bring my power pack, stupidly. But look, I'm out fishing, we're catching fish. The sun is shining here in Dorset, and long may that continue, everyone. I'm gonna keep fishing. When I bring you back, I'm sure one of those rods are gonna be hooped over in the rest and we'll be straight back into a shark with no teeth. Look at that, squid and crab. Oh, they'll be loving me. I reckon it'd be a minute and we'll have one. Anyway, you better not count your chickens because I might not get another one. I shouldn't really say that. Hello, how you doing? Yeah, it's been a great afternoon, hasn't it? Straight into the fish again. We've done all right. I'm running out of water. I've drank 2 of these. That's all I got left. 7 o'clock now. So what I'm going to do in a minute, I've got an hour walk with all my kit. Well, probably 45, 50-minute walk. And I slowly start to pack up and then make my way back. It's been a beautiful afternoon. Well, I've got here at 10 o'clock in the morning, so I've done 9 hours, caught a few fish, missed a few, but I changed it up, as you've seen. Sometimes in fishing, you've just got to mix it up. The same as when I was in Minehead and I missed that fish on a single hook. I switched up to a pennel and then didn't miss a fish, had a fish every cast. So if you go out fishing and things aren't working, check your hooks, check your rigs, mix it up, try something different. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to continue fishing for about another half an hour. I'm going to slowly pack away. I'll probably bring you back if we don't get any more fish, which... Hang on. I said my ratchet then. Yeah. We'll sort that out. I'll probably bring you back, obviously, if I get a fish. If not, I'll have a chat to you when we're back at the van, when I'm hanging out my ass, and I'll get myself off home. Thanks again for watching. I'm going to keep fishing for a bit and I'll see you back at the van. I've got fish on there, I think.